Okay.
Okay. This is me. Hey everyone, welcome to TCL-66's first weekly sync. We're just gonna be going over some of the introductory stuff, and then the three of us mentors will kind of run through and like the very first issue to give you an example of how it's done, and then we'll be able to look at like the remaining issues or the issues that you'll be working on this week. And then we're going to start with some introductions just so that way we can learn a little bit about each other. So if you want to do just your name, your preferred pronouns, if you're comfortable saying them, and then wherever you're located, kind of like we did in the like big group call, that would be a good way to start. And then I can just call on people. So I'm Jeremiah. He, him, and I am in Roseburg, Oregon. It's a few hours south of Portland. And then Nick, if you want to go first.
Sure. My name is Nick, he, him. I'm one of the mentors for this group. I'm in Washington, D.C., and I'm also former Collabby. So I did this program a couple of years ago. I think I was like group 26 or something. So happy to be here.
And then Danielle, do you want to go?
Yeah, thanks, Jeremiah. Danielle Heberling. Preferred pronouns are she, her, hers, and my location is Hillsboro, Oregon, and I'm one of the mentors in this group.
And then Emilio.
Yeah, hi. So my name's Emilio Campos. Pronouns are he, him, his, and located in Chicago, Illinois.
And then is it Aloe?
Yeah, my name is Aloe. I use the they, them pronouns, and I am in Portland, Oregon.
Stephanie.
Hi, my name is Stephanie. I use she, her pronouns. I live in Tucson, Arizona.
And then Hannah, I'm not sure if you said you were going to be in transit, but if you can.
Yeah, hi, sorry. I'll just turn my camera on really briefly. Yeah, I'm Hannah, and I'm from Toronto, Canada. And my pronouns are she, her. Nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you. Okay. And then, yeah.
Guess that's everyone. All right. Ready for this, Jeremiah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm ready.
So Jeremiah and I are going to kind of simulate what pairing might look like throughout the week, and keep in mind, take this with a grain of salt. It might look different for different people. But yeah, so I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to be the person writing the code, and Jeremiah's going to be the person helping to guide me. So we're going to start with reading through the issue first. Nick, could I bug you to give me screen sharing permission?
Yes, let me just figure that out really quick. Let's see.
Yeah, I was wondering if I could
security? It might be here. There we go. Does that work now?
Yep. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Cool. So you should be looking at my GitHub here. This is issue 1. So as a user, I want to be able to sign into the app. Being able to sign in is foundational part of our app. allows us to connect users to shopping lists that they have access to, prevents users from being cluttered with others' data. We already have auth set up in Firebase, but we don't have a way to sign in on the site. So down here, you'll see like some acceptance criteria. I think it's more optional, but a lot of people that I've mentored through this, like they'll check it off as they go through. And then we have some notes here. So essentially we got to be able to log in. Take a look here. So I've already cloned the repo. I've done, always do a git pull just to make sure that you get all the most recent things. And then I should probably create a branch. Does anyone recall what our branch naming conventions are? I don't remember off the top of my head.
It's the initials and then the other person's initials and then whatever the thing you're doing.
Awesome. Thank you, Aloe. So it'll be BHJF issue 1. Let's do that. So let's just take a look at what we got so far. So we just have this smart shopping list. It doesn't do anything. So our goal is to get it to the point where we can have a sign in button, it looks like. Cool. So let's start poking around. I can start at the config. I think that might be a good spot to start here, Jeremiah.
Yep.
Okay, so we got to fill in these values here because otherwise we won't be able to connect. I already have my Firebase console open. Trying to remember where that is.
Yeah, it should be right there.
Yes, just scroll down. Copy paste this. Should be good. And then we need to find the button.
And I think we're in layout.jsx. Right above this one.
Oh, layout, not list. Okay, so we got to import auth. And yeah, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, this use auth button. Yeah, so in this use auth hook, we have this sign in button and sign out button. So it's probably good that we make sure those are properly exported. See if things will autofill for me. Auth from config. Get off.
We probably just want those 3 things, right?
Yeah, I think you're probably right. So we want sign in button, sign out button, and then what was the third one?
The use auth hook.
Oh yeah. Use auth. Yeah, I think that should do it. And then just have to put it in the header, right? Nothing too special. Yeah, just in the layout.jsx, so we can move it if it's not looking good. Let's just do like users, use auth. And I'm also just going to temporarily console.log the user just to make sure we're doing it right. We'll remove that before we commit. And then, yeah, so down here in the layout main, Yeah, we just want it in the nav, so we'll just do it in the nav. So yeah, what I have so far is if there's a user, we'll show the sign out button. If there's not a user, we'll show the sign in button. Let's see how that showed up. Yeah, so down here you see the sign in button. Let's see if it works. I ran into this problem before. Oof, actually, hold on. I'm gonna do this not in Chrome. Chrome's my default on this computer, but I tend to prefer Firefox. Sign in. That's me. Something didn't work. Yeah, because here we have users null. See if I might need to, unless my config is wrong. I feel like we ran into this issue before.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what fixed it.
Oh, yeah. I think I might remember.
Oh, that's what it
Browser
was.
plugins.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have any like privacy badger or anything like that, because you don't like being tracked. I think, yeah, I think that might be what we did before. Let's see. Continue. No, what the heck?
Mm. We just try like hard refreshing the page.
Yeah, we had it set up, right? Unless, yeah, unless my thing here is not right. Like it should be though. So we have authentication. Yeah, no users. So it's showing, not showing that I'm logged in. Sign-in methods enabled though. Okay. Problems. Auth is defined but never used. Wonder if that might be part of our issue. I don't think so though. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, actually, it's not bringing in the config. I wonder if that might be the issue.
The config should get used in the like use auth file.
Yeah, let's look
I don't
at that.
actually think we need that import.
Yeah,
Do you have any other extensions or anything that you think might be messing with it?
could be. I can try it in Chrome. Let's see.
I just made the same changes on my end and they worked. So
Okay, that might be me then. Tried an Edge. Let's have some fun. Bluetooth, sure. Yeah, it might be something on my end. Just looking up my password real quick. Huh. Yeah, I still don't have anything.
Nope, there it is.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, sign out.
It just took a
Yay.
second.
Yeah, maybe it's a Firefox thing. Yeah, I don't know. I can look into that later. We've got some limited time here.
Yeah,
Cool.
I'm not sure. Sometimes I don't know if it's V or what, but just like hard refreshing the page every once in a while when you think your code should work, it works for some reason, I found.
Yeah, that could be it. Huh. Anyway, cool. Yeah. So there's me, there's Jeremiah. I guess the next step is to set up the collections
From here, I think we have to push,
or commit it.
yeah, so that way everyone can register. And if we wanted to, we can make the PR so that way Nick can review it.
And issue. Cool. Okay. So I should do that PR here. One. And then we also have like a template that you should fill out. Makes it much easier for the people reviewing your code. So here, added to this off config. All right, let's do closes number 1. Because if you write closes, it'll automatically close it for you. So that makes it easier. Acceptance criteria from the GitHub issue. Just going to open this in another tab. And this is like kind of a great time to just make sure that you've met all the acceptance criteria. So use auth as well. Sign in and sign out button are imported. Say yes. Sign in buttons displayed on every page. Yeah, we put that in the nav, and then it's sign out button is displayed on every page if the user signed in. I think this is right. Let's see. Yeah, that markdown's good. Type of changes. I don't really feel like it fits any of these. Maybe enhancement.
Yeah, enhancement's the only one that makes sense to me.
Okay, yeah, and then here we would add the screenshots. I think I'm gonna skip that for now because I don't have a quick screenshotting on this computer, but make sure you do that. I mostly do back-end stuff.
GitHub's really nice. If you just paste a picture, it will automatically do all of the formatting and stuff, getting it in there for you.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it is pretty nice for that. So then once this is done, the other pair will need to review this. Once the other pair reviews this, weekly, we're going to have a mentor assigned for pairing or for review. And essentially what you do is just go into TCL-66 and directly at people when they need to review something. So in this case, I'm going to assign it to Nick.
Can I clarify something real quick?
Yeah, of course.
So in this step, when we create our pull request, we'll first request the other team to review it. Once they review it, then we'll request the mentor. Or do we just, okay.
Yeah, that's a good question. All right, so does it make sense for me to stop sharing for you to review it, Nick, or should I keep
Yeah,
up?
and then I will actually share my screen
Okay, I'll
for the
stop
review.
here.
Okay, so let me just share my screen. Oh, okay. Sorry, I have to. This is my work computer, and I have to go through all these hoops to get grant screen sharing access. Okay. Hmm. Okay. This it just told me I might have to quit Zoom and reopen, but I'm recording, so I don't want to do that. But so hopefully this will just work anyway. But let me try. Okay, is that showing up for people?
Yep, looks good.
Okay, great. Okay, so like Danielle was saying, normally how this would start is I would see that someone messaged me or tagged me that the PR was ready, and they would send a link to it. So then I would open this up, and I'm gonna see, you can also get to it from our repo. You can, if you're just here, you can go up to pull requests, and you will see all the pull requests listed here. So this is the one they just made. And so I'm going to take a look here. I can, it's helpful to have this description so I kind of know what's supposed to be going on with this. It's also nice to have this link to the issue so I can open this up and kind of compare someone's work with what was originally supposed to happen. Same thing with including this acceptance criteria. And as you'll see in the template, the screenshots are definitely helpful to kind of do, especially if it's a UI change, which a lot of these issues are. You can kind of easily see like what looked like before, and then clearly the changes after the updates were made. And so I think another nice thing we have set up is GitHub Actions. So this is really nice. We can just click on this link here. And this will just show you the basically a live preview of the changes in your browser without having to pull down the branch and then switch to it and do the and then spin up the preview from there. So this is like a nice, easy way. Sometimes you might still want to do that, but in this case, I'm just going to use this nice little GitHub Actions link. So I'm going to look here, and what's supposed to happen is these two buttons are supposed to be displayed depending on if I've signed in. So I'm gonna try signing in. And okay, and great. I see that it says sign out here. So I'll look back at this issue, and it looks like all those have been fulfilled. Then I will take a look at the actual code. So you can go over to this files change tab. Oh, Stephanie, did you have a question?
Yeah, sorry. Back on the other screen, I just was trying to figure out the closes number one thing. What does
Yes.
that do?
This is just a link to the issue that this pull request is addressing. So,
Oh, I see.
yeah. And
Is
when
it
you
called it number one? Like in the issues list, it's called number one.
well, in the issues list, it's called as a user, I want to be able to sign into the
Oh.
app number one. But you'll see so when you're writing this section of the pull request, like Danielle did, if you do closes and then number, like the number symbol, you'll see like a little tooltip comes up to like link to the different issues.
Okay, thank you.
I may be able to. Actually, I probably can't. But yeah, that's what
I
that
remember
is.
when Danielle did that. I just was a little bit unsure, but thank you.
No problem. So the next thing you'll do is look at the actual changed. You can do that over here where this tab that says files changed. And then you'll see this like folder view where you can go through. So I see that they updated this Firebase config object with the new information. And then if I go down to, and each of these little blocks is like a different file. So if I go down to this layout.jsx, I see they added this import statement, and I see that they use this use auth hook to get the user object in. And then we are down here conditionally rendering the two different button components based on whether we have this user object. So if you want to add comments, this is like there's not much going on with this particular PR, so there's not much to comment on, but I might say like, might add a little comment here. So if you just scroll over the place in the code and do the little plus sign, you can leave a little comment, and I could tag Danielle and say, I'll also tag both people that are working on it and say, maybe do we need to keep this console.log statement? So you can either just add one comment or start a review. I'm going to start a review because I do want to actually approve this. So I'll do that. And once I've made all my comments, I can go over to this, and you can either, you can just use this drop down thing here and finish up your review. So you can either, just submit any comments you've made without giving approval yet, or you can, what I'm going to do is approve and then just say, see my comment about the console log statement. I'm doing this because just you know, it's not affecting anything functionally. It's just something I wanted to flag. Otherwise, everything's working fine, so we can just go ahead and approve it and just flag that one item for them. The other option is to request changes. So in this case, the people will be notified that you requested changes, and then they can see your different comments, and they will need to address them. So kind of just depends on the situation. I'm going to approve and submit my review. And so then this is what the PR will look like. And normally, once everything's approved, the people who open the PR can go in here and click the merge, and then it will be merged into the main branch. And that's basically it. So I don't know if, yes, Stephanie.
I'm sorry. I've used GitHub before, but I just want to make sure. So we don't, once whoever opens the pull request, they merge it instead of having the person that reviewed it merge it.
Yeah, I think that's what, that's a good practice to go by. Technically, I could just merge it myself here, but for this project, I think it would make more sense to let the people that opened the PR actually pull the trigger on the merge.
Okay, and then with the review, when you made the comment, I haven't done that before. You made the comment and you submitted it for review. Well, does that open another review? And then the two people that you added to the comment, then they'll do that review?
No,
okay.
it won't open a new review. That will just be so what could happen is I could do a review and then request changes.
Right.
And then what would happen is the original people that opened the PR can make those changes and then push that code up again.
Mm-hmm.
And then it will actually show up in this conversation tab. It will show up that like they made another commit, and then I can review that again. So I guess it does, you would do, as the reviewer, you would do a second review if you requested changes.
Okay, and by the way you did it, you will just, there's that conversation, they can write back to you and say, no, we don't need it. And then someone can erase it and put in another pull request or.
Yeah.
Okay.
You would re-request a review in the same PR. So up at the top it shows like who you've requested reviews from. So for Nick, it would be like it's like a red icon there. And then you just click request review again, and then he would get tagged that the update happened, and then he would come back and look to make sure it all looked good again. So it's like a back and forth thing.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. Yeah, I think a lot of it will make more sense when you all start doing this. You know, it can be a little intimidating at first, but it's once you understand like the Git and GitHub main processes, it becomes pretty easy to use. And we're all always here to answer any questions you have about pull requests or the review process. So wherever you need.
Really quick, but when you left the comment, but then you said approved. So like in theory, you wouldn't have to do another review necessarily because you said approved, as opposed to like if you left a comment and had it like for the request review for that, right?
That's right. Yeah. So in this case, I just approved because I didn't think that the thing I highlighted was worth delaying the merge over, because it has not anything to do with the functionality. It's just something that is still worth flagging. So it's kind of just a judgment call on that.
Cool. Yeah. So while you were talking, I did push up that change, and you'll see like after the comment here, you'll see that I had done this extra commit here. And I'm trying to think what else. Oh, another thing that's helpful to know as well is like the actions. Because whenever you push up a change to a PR or whenever you merge, it's deploying to Firebase. So you can go here to check that. But yeah, under normal circumstances, I would push up the change. Since I do have all the approvals that I need, I don't need to re-request. So then I can just merge it. Ooh, let me make sure I'm not missing something. Okay, cool. Thanks, Jeremiah. Debating if I'll wait for it to deploy first. Yeah, and then we can just merge it. And then totally up to how you all want to work together. Different teams have different team agreements, but generally, a lot of times people will like it if you delete the branch, because otherwise you have a lot of branches hanging out and you don't know if they're relevant or not. But yeah, I think probably what we should do now is share that URL so everyone can get a user. And one kind of good like sheety place to do this is, I think it might be, yeah, if you look in our channel at the top, there's like links to the repo, project brief, deployed project. So I can get the URL from here. And if it hasn't, this is Firefox for me. But yeah, if you all could go to that URL and sign in so we can get your user created. And if anyone's having trouble, like definitely let us know. That's why we're doing this synchronously, because we want to make sure everyone is set up and ready to go. So don't feel like you're interrupting because you're not.
When I open that link there, it doesn't have a sign-in button.
Yeah.
You might have to refresh.
Let's see. Deployed project. Oh, there it is. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it was still building, so it wasn't quite ready yet.
Okay. Can I make it?
Let's see if you're
Okay.
in here.
Yep.
Read. Thank you.
There most of us are, yeah.
Yep, there you are. Cool. Yeah, and then if you go to the Firebase console under authentication, you can see your user UID here. And this is important because we need to set this up. Should I maybe just have you do this, Jeremiah?
Yeah, I can do it.
It might be faster if Jeremiah does it. He's the master at this part.
Okay, and then should be this, I think. Is that right? Okay. So this is the Firebase console. So this is like the back end part of our app. So that's also in like in the project brief. You can see like all of the links. So here's our live app. Um, here's the Firebase link. So if you open that, it should have all of the like different parts. So in our database, there are a few different parts that are going to get handled with our code, but since that code isn't there yet, we are adding this manually. And this is also just to, like get familiar with like the structure of our data. So um, the way that this works is there's this users collection. If you've ever worked with like a NoSQL database, that's what Firestore is. So it's like MongoDB or something like that. Which it's essentially JSON. So every user gets put into here, and then they all have an email, like the name associated with their Gmail account that they signed up with, and then they get a unique identifier. So that's just their ID. And then from here, the way that the like shopping lists or the lists get added is they are a collection starting with the owner's user ID. So this one is, I believe I copied Danielle's, and then this right here would be the name of the shopping list. So it can be like groceries. So this is the format, I guess, that the shopping lists are in. And then from here, there's an owner field, which should be the same thing. And then every user that has this shopping list shared with them has a shared lists property, which is an array. And this might look confusing because I'm going fast, but our code also handles this for us after like I think the second week of issues. So this isn't something that we will have to worry about in the future. Uh, so this is just a path to that shopping list. And I'm going to add this to everyone just so that way we all have access to it. Array. And then what I'm doing now, you don't have to do very often, but uh it is good to know how to do this for some of the later issues once the shopping list is actually going, especially when we're working with dates and we're trying to get things shown in different places in the app depending on dates. Uh you want to be able to like change that just so that way you can look on your front end and see the way that it is showing up. So being able to like manipulate the data directly in Firebase is really helpful, I guess, for a project like this when you're in that like that dev pre-release state. Um, and if you have questions about this, that's totally fine. You don't end up working with this a lot as like the front end role, but again, it's like nice to know how to do just so that way you can see how your front end and back end are interacting. Okay, and then that should be it for this part. what are people's questions or
How do you get your Firestore database in the project shortcuts? Like, where do you bring that up?
good question. So in build, I think also from the project overview, there are a lot of different services that Firebase offers that you can use on a project. The ones that we're using are authentication and Firestore database. So like once you click on them, like if I click on authentication, it'll just show up in the shortcuts. So I just have to like find Firestore through one of these, and then it'll show up here from then on for that project.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep. Okay. Uh, are the issues next, Danielle?
Yeah, let's go into issues.
Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing. And then, okay, this is also me. So I'm going to go back to sharing. So this is our project board. So from here, we can see all of the issues that the project has. So we did this first one on this call. I'm not sure if Danielle moved it to done, but I moved it to mentor review when we were on that stage. So I think this is called like Jira has one of these. It's just like a board for keeping track of like where everything is in the pipeline. So when you start it, you can move it here in progress. And then once you're done working on it, you can move it to peer review. And then once you're ready for the mentors to review, you can move it here. And it's just a nice way to visualize where you are on the track. And then in, let's see. So in here, we have our project brief again. And so on the first week of like our group, we have Alo and Emilio working on issue 2 and Stephanie and Hannah working on issue 3. And both of these parts of them are done for you. So you it's like you're picking up work that is unfinished on an issue that's being worked on. So for issue 2, we're saying as a user, I want to read all of my shopping lists and items in them. So we have that one shopping list that we just shared. Currently, there aren't any items in them yet. That happens later, but you can still set it up for them to be displayed once items get added. And then just a description. So the most important feature of a shopping app is the ability to look at the shopping lists and the items on them, so users know what they need to buy. For this work, we'll have to be able to choose our shopping lists, the list, and home components are the best places in the code to do that. Part of the feature is already implemented, so refer to the AC in this issue and the existing code to understand the work that remains. So the list component is rendered on the list page, but navigation is broken right now. That's what the other issue is fixing. So you'll have to type that path into your browser's bar. So that's just like if you're here, you just do /list, and then this is the list page. And so, yeah, the first 5 bits are done. So you are just rendering the lists themselves, the shopping lists themselves, and then the items. And then something that we want to get across early is that the only goal is to make sure that those two things are rendered as expected. It might be tempting to like go further than that, but that's not the goal of this ticket. And that's something called scope creep, is when you see that thing that's like easily within reach and close to what you're working on, and you want to work on that, but it can get in the way of what other people are working on, or other people might be assigned to it. So you just want to work on the task that you're assigned to. And then the props or variables are already in list and home. So, you're just trying to figure out what steps you need to take in order to render them. And then this is pointing out the issues that will add the features of like adding lists and adding items to them. And then issue 3 is, as a user, I want to be able to navigate to all the pages in the app by clicking the links on the nav bar. So like these nav links are broken. In the code in that layout .jsx file earlier, you could see that they like the anchor tags didn't lead anywhere. So that's something that we're fixing in this issue. So users need to be able to navigate between the pages of our app in order to access all of its features. So there's a nav bar, but it's not feature complete, so the links don't work. So the nav bar is there. The links appear, so you can see all of the like words to click on. But this last part is not done. So the links should all function as expected using the navlink component from React Router DOM after this issue is complete. And then this links to the docs for React Router DOM. So you can see the way that that component is implemented and the props that it takes. And then you could just use a regular anchor tag to go from page to page, but the navlink component is we're using React Router DOM, so you want to use the components from it, and it also helps the app work the way it's intended, just because routing libraries help the app work a little bit more efficiently when the links are like internal, going from the same site to the same site. So that's another reason for it. So those are the 2 issues for the week. What are your questions? Okay, so the next step would be to try to find a time to pair up with your partner for the week, and then work on the code the same way that Danielle and I did that first issue, where you both tackle parts. One of you is the driver, one of you is the I think it's called the navigator. So one person's writing the code and the other person's like trying to be a second set of eyes and that kind of thing.
Cool. Yeah. And then the last thing for this week, I know this has been a lot, so sorry for the info overload. I think Stacy might have forgot to mention this at the orientation, but we as mentors do weekly office hours. So office hours is just kind of an open hour that you can come in and join. It's optional. You don't have to join if you don't want to, or if you're busy that week. And we rotate which mentor does office hours for the week. So, feel free to come in, ask whoever is in the office hours, specific questions about the project for help. You could ask about career stuff, pretty much anything. A mentor that I worked with before said, come in and tell us about your pets. So that's really your time. So no agenda, nothing like that, but we are here just kind of as an extra time for you. And this week, I'm the one hosting office hours. I'll also put this in Slack, just so you have written of it. But the time that works best for me is Thursday from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific. So feel free to stop by for some, all, part of it, none of it, totally up to you. But I'll be hanging out in a Google Hangout for that hour, and feel free to join me. And again, yeah, I'll put that in Slack just so you have it written down. But yeah, I think that's about all that I can think of. You'll notice some of these first issues feel kind of light. So definitely enjoy the beginning, because as it goes on, these issues do get more and more involved. Beginning part is really just important to set the baseline, get to know each other, really focus less on the code and focus more on like how you're working with someone, because it's definitely a very underrated aspect of tech that I think should not be underrated, because my personal opinion is you can teach someone anything and everything about code, but it's a little harder to teach someone to not be a jerk. So, but anyway, yeah, I think I was going to close unless anyone had any last minute questions or thoughts. Cool. Yeah. And if anything comes up, definitely ping us in Slack. Know that some of us do have full-time jobs, so you might not get an immediate answer, but someone will answer you eventually. So keep that in mind as well. But have a good week, and we're here for you if you need anything.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye all.
See you all.
Bye, thank you.